Hey guys, welcome to a video. Hopefully you guys can see me. This is the first time I actually tested this new software out. So welcome to week 2. This week we're going to discuss a little bit more in depth about iOS development. So the plan is to kind of do an overview in this video to discuss about how Xcode works, show you how we'll run through the application, just to kind of get familiar with some areas of the IDE. I think it's very important to understand some of these points so that when you're coding you understand how to test it in different elements, which is nice because the beginning when iOS was developed or Xcode was developed, there was only one platform. It was just iPhone. The first iPhone that came out, and it has improved. The interface at the time looked a little bit similar to iTunes if you've ever used iTunes. And if you look in the book, the diagrams that they show you kind of show you an older interface more geared toward iTunes. So we've moved away from that. Xcode has improved dramatically over time. It's gotten a lot better, and there's more devices that are available. So now you got to think that when you're developing these applications, you have to think, all right, so not only do I have the iPhone, there's the iPad, there's the TV now, there's some of the vehicles have the operating system in it. Then you have to think about all the other platforms that go with it. So, not just one iPhone, you have 8, you have 8 Plus, you have X. So now they have like 3 different forms of the iPhone, and the same thing with the iPad. So there's so many possibilities, but this is actually exciting. It's fun. What's nice is it's kind of similar to if you've ever developed an Android, which sounds like several of you have, where it's similarities where you could go back to a previous operating system, Jelly Bean, Kit Kat, so forth, kind of similar to that. So in this video, let me just kind of get started and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to just bear with me here. Let's see here. So what we're going to do is we have these 3 areas. So when you're developing something, you have the playground. So think of a playground as a location where you kind of practice your code. To create a new Xcode project, that's what we're going to do here, as it mentioned the different elements. And I didn't talk about Mac. Some of the stuff that we'll actually develop in this course will be a console app that'll be more toward Mac, but it's the same thing. And then clone an existing project. So clone an existing project would be, open something that is in Git. So we've talked about, the elements that can or cannot be in Git. So I had already had this one up, so I'm going to head and open this one up. There's a previous one that I started with. All right, perfect. So this is one of the videos that I had showed you, which would have been last week, and it was the previous week, whatever week that was. And I added a button, showed you how the button could be added. So in this example here, what I'm going to do is kind of give you an overview of, let's see, hopefully I can move the screen. I can't. All right, so click on this. So there's a button at the top of Xcode, and you're not going to see it because I'm not sharing the whole screen, so my apologies. But what you want to do is, if you have this selection right here, if you have a phone attached to it, so if you do have an iPhone, go ahead and attach it to USB. There's a developer mode that you have to put into it, and I'll set up a video on how to do that as well. And what will happen is your app will be up, or so once you go to debug, you'll have the option to choose your phone. What's nice about that feature is, I'm not sure if you can see me now, the nice thing about that feature is when you're playing with that feature, it allows you to put an application on your phone. So that way, if you want to really test it in good mode, you could test it on your phone. You could set up, I think, and I could be wrong, I think you could set up the 5 accounts. So let's say that 4 people in your family want to test your app. That is good. That's what you're supposed to do. So like at work, at my regular job, when we implement an application with Xcode to a phone, we have phones that we pass around the group, and what we do is we make sure that all those phones get it. So the QA people could play with it. We want them to take it home. We want them to break it, basically. Nonetheless, our technology is a little bit different because it requires VPN software, so it makes it a little bit tricky, but it allows them to break it, and that way versus using an emulator. So kind of go through these different emulators that you could use. So in this example, I'm going to run this in iPhone 8. So I'm going to go ahead and all you have to do is hit this little, I always say the play button, the run button. So iPhone 8 is going to be, it's going to look like an iPhone. Oh, it's on this screen, so I have to pull it over here. Oh, there we go. So as you see here, it looks like the iPhone. The iPhone 8 looks good. When you use the Plus, it makes it a lot more difficult because it's really big, and I have a 27-inch monitor, so it makes it really hard to see. So you see here, we have this button. It does nothing, but as you see, the phone's this big. Now you could change the size of it. Is if you put, and this is something new, you could put your mouse up here where you have the arrow, and you could just bring it down. So let's say that you don't like it that big, you could have it that way. But if you are like me and can't see anything close up, you can make it super large. But that's up to you based off of how you like. And nice thing is it works just like a phone. So you could come here and go to Safari, and you could actually come up here and type in a website address. So you could say go to google.com, boom, it pulls it up. You can actually do a search and say CCAC. Do you want to access? Sure. So yeah, whatever. So then it pulls up CCAC. So you're able to pull this information up, so it works like a real app. So that's pretty awesome though. I'm really impressed with that. So kind of going through some of these different things that you could do with it. I apologize, there is a button at the top under simulator. There's file, edit, hardware, debug. So if you go on hardware, and I don't have the whole screen shared, you'll only see some of it, but there is an option up there called device, and you'll see some of this here. You'll see where you could choose the different devices that you're using. In this case, we're using 11.2 iOS, and you see all the different iPhones and iPads that you can use. You have the TV operating systems here, and then you have the watch. I left out the watch, I forgot about the watch. So you have so many things that you can develop for. You have the ability to restart, like restarting your phone. You can erase all content and settings on this phone, which is nice. This option right here rotates it left, rotates it right. Orientation, so this is something that we'll talk about when you're developing your app. You want to know, do you want the app to go sideways? So it depends on the platform. And if say you're developing a game and it only works in landscape, then you probably don't want to go to portrait because it makes it very difficult to develop that way. And then you have to make sure that it's able to convert. So when you're developing something, whatever that is, you want to pick how you want them to be able to see it. Let's see here. All right, so let's see. We got orientation. We have rotate device manually, device automatically. Sorry. So you could have shake gesture. So when you shake it, you can have it do something. Excuse me. You can go to the home, the lock. You can use Siri, and that's another feature. If your code that you're developing wants to utilize Siri at some point for some reason, you could utilize that. The Touch ID, so you could enroll the Touch ID, matching touch. So these are other ways. You could utilize authorize Apple Pay. So all the features that you can actually physically use on a phone, you can use it here. With audio, you can use Blue. Well, this has audio, so I'm using Blue Snowball. Audio output. So you see here, there's all these different views that you can see here that you can play around with this. And this is important to kind of get familiar with it to see how things work. Let me switch back to the screen here. So hopefully in this video, it's just a short description of how, we've talked about how to create a new project, how to bring it up. But this video right here just kind of walks through how the simulator works, how to get to the simulator, and so forth. I hear people. And I apologize, I have construction workers here, and I thought I heard them point. So this video just kind of walks through the beginning part. The next video that we'll walk through, we'll start talking about data types and how to work with data types. So if you've programmed before, which most of you seem like you have, so we'll talk about different data types that we'll use. We'll use some different structures in our source code and kind of walk through it, and then work our way to where we want to be. The idea is to build an application in this class or multiple applications, and so we'll do something fun. We'll working on something fun that we can work as a group project. Normally, I'll have an individual project that we all work on, but we'll work on it together and add different features to the project, and I think it'll be a good learning experience as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. My YouTube channel, you could subscribe to it, or you could also email me at my CCAC email account, or hit me on the discussion board. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Wait till the next video.